Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Honourable Leader of Opposition and Cabinet Ministers, members of this Honourable House, I also rise to add my voice to those Honourable members who have spoken before me in commending the Honourable Minister for Economy and his team for a comprehensive and forward-looking 2018-19 national budget. Madam Speaker, I support the intentions of the budget to deal with the current realities and its vision to build our economy for our future generations. Madam Speaker, the 2018-19 budget is an audacious and historical financial plan, one that builds on the 9 straight years of economic growth and progress and the longest running period of growth in Fijian history. It's a document that built on the successes of previous years and, of course, in a responsible manner, in a caring manner as well, and the budget empowers laying out new and better economic opportunities for all Fijian families. I have so much to cover, Madam Speaker, within the limited time that I have, but the two Honourable Assistant Ministers have spoken on rural development and, of course, on agriculture, and I'll just try to highlight a few, particularly with natural disaster management and meteorological services, and of course add further on agriculture. But before I do that, Madam Speaker, let me just clarify a few issues raised by the Honourable members of the opposition. I'll start probably with the Honourable Dr. Samsoni. I would invite her after this to drive through Naset to her bread shop and look at if there is a rubbish dump along that place and see how the beautification program through the Suva City Council has made a significant change to that place, Madam Speaker. On non-implementation of budgeted activities and programs, Madam Speaker, this is not new. And every civil servant sitting on the other side of the House, Madam Speaker, and former ministers are well aware of this. It's just a simple plan about our revenue and our expenditure. But, Madam Speaker, there are unforeseen events as well. We have disasters. We have peacekeeping missions, probably that need the services of Fijian peacekeepers, Madam Speaker. And these are unplanned activities that do come in during the financial year. They are familiar with terms such as redeployment, reprioritization, environment, rollover. This is not new to former civil servants and ministers who are sitting on the other side of the House, Madam Speaker. They are well aware of this. It's normal, Madam Speaker. So it's not promises not being fulfilled, Madam Speaker, but it's a matter of prioritizing based on the needs at those particular moments, Madam Speaker. And that is why there have to be redeployment of funds. We've just had farm care and family care, Madam Speaker. That's redeployment of funds. I've talked about reprioritization when needs do arise. Environment, Madam Speaker, or otherwise, projects are rolled over. The Wainyambia project is a classic example of what's being rolled over. The needs are there. Because of the nature of the work, Madam Speaker, and most of these, let's be honest with ourselves, it's about capacity, it's about the ability of the technical officials to meet the timelines, Madam Speaker. So this is reality, and we have to be honest with ourselves. It's not about the incompetency of governments, Madam Speaker, but these are realities, and any honest leader should be able to stand in this august House and explain why projects are not implemented, Madam Speaker. Let me come to this issue about ours. Madam Speaker, 76% is under R. I sent a quick text to Agriculture, PS, Madam Speaker, yesterday, because I had 44 million in this year's budget under R. 44 million, Madam Speaker. Out of that 44 million, Madam Speaker, we have already been allocated 37 million under R. That's 81% of implementation, Madam Speaker. Don't create fear amongst the people. There are systems systems and processes for good governance, Madam Speaker. This is about good governance. This is about good governance. Let's use agriculture, Madam Speaker. Everybody knows in Fiji that in 2000 and 2001, there was a big agriculture scam in the history of Fiji. Penyasi Kunatumba was one of the victims. Saki Usabole was one of the victims. Suliasi Sorobotini was one of the victims. This is about good governance, Madam Speaker. This is taxpayers' money, and it has to be used responsibly. And that is why government has put in place systems and processes to ensure that taxpayers' money are well utilized. Let me come to one more level, Madam Speaker. Again, I've continued to say in this House, government committed to the Look North policy when we came into place, Madam Speaker. Nobody is going to deny that. It's government's responsibility. But let me tackle this issue about Madhuwata Holdings, as raised by the Honourable Member, and of course, Wanikoro Fishing Project as well, Madam Speaker. The Honourable Member was Assistant Rocco, when the Turanga Taukenawevu was Rocco, the Tuchani Matanambamba, Moses and Nagoroi were Assistant Rocco. We had a meeting about Madhuwata Holdings, Madam Speaker. Iniesta Riratu was Commissioner. Madam Speaker, I convened the meeting wanting to assist Madhuwata Holdings, Madam Speaker. There are issues. One, internal bickering, Madam Speaker. The Honourable Member would know and will not deny that we had a meeting in Nanduri, and Andy Seni Militaya, the late Andy Seni Militaya, has to stand up in the meeting and plead with the chiefs and the Madhuwata Holding chairman and the officials, Madam Speaker, to please settle the differences so that Madhuwata can move forward. Madam Speaker, we organized with Fiji Development Bank their interest. Secretary Leonie Gila was the chairman of Madhuwata Provincial Council. We decreased, after that meeting, Madam Speaker, the interest for Madhuwata Provincial Holding was decreased by FDB from 8% to around 3% to bring down all the overdues, Madam Speaker. And they were to again submit a request for write-off, Madam Speaker, later on. That was all the agreement. And the development of the area opposite the Commissioner's office, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I must state before this Honourable House that Madhuwata Holdings, they had the development plan for that, Madam Speaker. But however, they did not have the funds. And that is why the Ministry of Lands has to look for investors who have the funds, Madam Speaker, who can develop that property at Nayada, Madam Speaker, is the name of the place, so that Lamasa can expand into that side of the river, Madam Speaker. Because there were plans already drawn years ago to shift the market, and now we have the Fiji National University. Last week was the groundbreaking ceremony for the new. But Madam Speaker, if we were in government then, because we have the Itauke land development allocation, which has now increased to 12 million, that would have been the solution to the problem that so I invite the Turanga Tinamu to come this side of the house, because we have that money, Madam Speaker. Wanikoro, Madam Speaker, Wanikoro was a JICA project. It was a JICA project between the Ministry of Fisheries and the Ministry for Cooperatives. But it was mismanagement, again by them, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when we got into Madhuwata, I wanted to check Wanikoro, Madam Speaker. And then I saw that there were some problems in that cooperative and there were some arrangements. I initiated, Madam Speaker, the investigation. And as a result of that investigation, the guy from Ruanrua was jailed and one from cooperatives as well. A government official and one from... What's lacking thing, Madam Speaker, is that leadership. I'll come back to agriculture revolution. I'll leave that for a while now, Madam Speaker. I just wanted to clarify some of those. And of course, we did a lot to Monindebo. We were in Monindebo again last week, Honorable Member. Fiji, as a small island developing state, is vulnerable to the effects of global warming, climate variability, and climate change. Recent tropical cyclones since 2016 are a stark reminder of the profound impacts on the country's economy and livelihood. Madam Speaker, I just want to say that climate services are increasingly important to support climate risk management, adaptation to climate change, and sustainable development of many sectors. Let me assure every member of this Honourable House, Madam Speaker, that the government is more than ever committed to leading the fight against climate change. Fiji was the first nation to ratify the Paris Agreement and also the first small island state to lead the global effort for climate action last year in Bonn as COP23, Madam Speaker. The best way to adapt to climate change is to build resilience to climate variability. To this effect, the government, through the Fiji Meteorological Services, continues to work closely with key international partners, including the World Meteorological Organization, to raise our status in climate services both in country and to the Pacific region, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the government has invested significantly in recent years to build a climate-resilient society. Between 2013 and 2015, over 1.2 million was spent on the upgrading of the National Climate Monitoring Telemetric System project in view of sustainable socio-economic development. And in the current financial budget, Madam Speaker, allocations are also provided, and of course for a media center and the water level and rainfall telemetry stations, Madam Speaker. I also wish to mention, Madam Speaker, that in national disaster management, the two were merged together with the Meteorological Services to create the Ministry of Disaster Management and Meteorological Services in the current financial year, Madam Speaker. But the further funding support in 2017 and 18 national budget included 350,000 for the upgrade of out island stations and the construction of new Lambasa Weather Office for installation of water level and rainfall telemetry instruments, to name a few. For the Lambasa Weather Office, Madam Speaker, we are just waiting now for the clearance from the electrical contractors, and hopefully that office will be open soon so that it can provide services as well, Madam Speaker. The substantial capital grants allocated for the 2018-19 budget financial year, Madam Speaker, Fiji Met Services will be in a better position to complete all the rolled over projects since 2016, and I've talked already about rolled over projects, Madam Speaker. These projects will address the immediate weather forecasting data needs for disaster risk management and reduction, including the enhancement of the timely monitoring of extreme events, warning systems such as tropical cyclones and floods. On NDMO, Madam Speaker, we have completed the draft of the National Disaster Risk Reduction Policy. Madam Speaker, this is in line with the Sendai framework for disaster risk management and disaster risk reduction, Madam Speaker. And Fiji has been in the forefront in the region and also internationally for putting together an integrated national disaster risk reduction policy that is aligned to the global DRR framework known as the Sendai framework. And we just had the Asian Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction in Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia last week, Madam Speaker, and the chairwoman did acknowledge Fiji's exemplary progress on achieving the Target E of the Sendai framework through the successful drafting of the Fiji National Disaster Reduction Policy, Madam Speaker. I've talked about resilience very briefly, Madam Speaker. This includes warning systems, Madam Speaker. As we speak, we are installing, we have already completed most of this, Madam Speaker, sirens for tsunami warning systems, Madam Speaker. One is in the Water Authority depot in Kinoya, one is in Fentel in Watuanga, one is in Maisubu Park, one is at the Government Training Center at Nasese, at Vebueti House here, in Rainbow as well, Madam Speaker, Albert Park, the Civic Car Park, and of course the Adventist High School in Lamy. And of course we are looking at the government shipping services in Wallu Bay, and of course the RFMF Officer School in Watuaga, Madam Speaker. This is very, very critical for us. We have to prepare for not only cyclones and floods, but Madam Speaker, but of course we are in the rim of fire, and we also need to prepare for earthquakes and tsunamis, and this is why the government is installing these sirens, Madam Speaker, along Suva, and hopefully this can be expanded to the other built-up areas and of course cities and municipalities around Fiji as well. Madam Speaker, we have also conducted drills to prepare people. So one, we have started with the Cluster 1 school in March, and of course the second tsunami drill is scheduled for this July and will be conducted along the necessary areas following key agencies, and the following agencies will be engaged: the President's Office, Madam Speaker, Ethiopia Affairs Board, Ministry of Ethiopia Affairs, Ministry of Lands and Mineral Resources, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and of course the Police Academy. Again, preparation continues, Madam Speaker, and of course I also wish to assure this Honourable House that of course with our capability as well, we have been conducting training for our SEALAX boats, Madam Speaker, which were donated by New Zealand, and of course the other capabilities that we have. Let me just briefly touch on agriculture, Madam Speaker, and let me say that government has allocated a total of 96.8 million in the 2018-19 national budget to the Ministry of Agriculture. Madam Speaker, this is an increase of 12%. With a value of about 10.5 million. In addition to this budget, Madam Speaker, the Ministry also received 9.2 million in donor funding in terms of aid in kind, and a further 2 million to develop the goat meat industry and establish the brucellosis-free farms. Madam Speaker, if we had the total budget under Head 30 of 96.8 million, the 9.2 million aid in kind and the 2 million under Head 50, the Ministry's total budget is a record 108 million. Based on the 96.8 million budget, the Ministry of Agriculture will receive 87.8 million for operating expenditure and 55 million for capital, with a VAT allocation of $4 million, Madam Speaker. There has been significant increases in the Ministry of Agriculture budget since it became a standalone ministry from Fisheries and Forestry in 2014. In 2013, Madam Speaker, the Ministry received a total budget of 51.3 million, and it has been consistently increasing since then. And the 2018 budget is an increase in 89% compared to 2013, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in the few responses from the other side, Madam Speaker, again, we have been asked about the agriculture revolution. Madam Speaker, let me put this to rest before I conclude, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, just seeing bullocks working in a farm does not mean that there is no agriculture revolution. I can't imagine that line of thinking, Madam Speaker. Because, Madam Speaker, all revolutions are simply born out of an idea, a vision, a dream, Madam Speaker, and revolutions have strategic intents and long-term end states, Madam Speaker. It's not a band-aid short-term solution, Madam Speaker. It's about the long-term. Madam Speaker, as Arafat started the Palestinian revolution, Arafat is no longer there, but the revolution is still alive, Madam Speaker, because it's about a long-term vision. Chairman Mao started the Chinese Revolution. Where is Chairman Mao? But the Chinese Revolution continues, Madam Speaker. Osama bin Laden is gone, Madam Speaker. But the revolution continues. That's this side of the House. We are long-term, we are strategic in our line of thinking, Madam Speaker. It's not a short-term quick fix, Madam Speaker. Because there are so many things. If we want to modernize agriculture, that is the vision. That is the vision, Madam Speaker. Modernizing Fiji's agriculture sector. It's about organized production, it's about technologies and systems and processes, Madam Speaker, it's about aggressive researching, It's about aggressive marketing, Madam Speaker, and it's about improving the capacities and the capabilities within the ministry, Madam Speaker. We are one of the ministries that have that allocation, about $500,000, Madam Speaker, so that we can improve service delivery. The Honourable Minister for Economy in his address, Madam Speaker, said that there are very limited people with PhDs in government ministries. I'm proud to say, Madam Speaker, that we have 3 already in the ministry and 4 are also in the process of completing their PhDs, Madam Speaker. We have 3 veterinary officers who have graduated. So that's about the agriculture revolution. It's a long-term strategic intent, Madam Speaker. We are not looking at short-term gains. Look at data and statistics. Agriculture production and exports, Madam Speaker, has increased 3%. The Honourable Biman Prasad is smiling, Madam Speaker, because it's happening, Madam Speaker. But it's not a short-term fix, Madam Speaker. It's a strategic, long-term intent. So when you're talking about agriculture revolution, Rome was not built in a day. Madam Speaker, a journey with 1,000 miles starts with the first step, and we are in this process, Madam Speaker. A good budget, responsible budget, Madam Speaker, and I strongly support this budget. Thank you.